because this is an international prize where every book is nominated by a library, and it's a prize whose lists are full of translation. And this, to me, it's just a marvellous happening for me that the book has ended up on the shortlist for this prize. If my book were to win on this shortlist, I should be so lucky. The fact that libraries nominate books from all over the world for this prize, the fact that a book in itself, we know these are sources of knowledge, thought, history, but the library is the source of communal thought, knowledge, history, invention, imagination. And that's why libraries are so important. There was a really terrible story that a friend of mine told me, a true story about something that had happened to one of her family in the Second World War when they'd, on a road, the south of France, had come upon a completely flattened person. This image, after she told me this story, I couldn't get it out of my head. Meanwhile, I had thought that book would be called Glyph, Gliff, as you would expect Gliff to be. But while looking into this word, I found this other word, Gliff, Gliff, and I looked at it and I thought, that's not a word. That's like nonsense. That word is meaningless. It's a nonsense word. And then I looked it up, and it had so many meanings. I almost couldn't believe it. My sister and I, last summer, had seen something that happened to the place where people who travel up and down the country all year round and live in their vehicles usually parked and stayed for a while. It was a grassy space between two roads, big enough for several caravans. The families who parked here usually came in June and left in July. They'd been doing this for longer than we'd been alive. Their children were our summer friends. But last summer, someone had filled that grassy space with massive, jagged slabs of concrete, slanting and upright, slabs bigger than cars. My sister had burst into tears when she saw it. This was unlike her. She wasn't easily cowed. Right now, strapped in next to me, she was pulling the arms and legs out of the doll she'd fished out of the ground in the back garden and shaking its torso so that the small bits of rubble that were rattling about inside it would fall out.